Hello everyone, so today we'll discuss your Module 2, all about rational algebraic expression. So in your Module 2, you have Lesson 1, Simplifying Rational Algebraic Expressions. Lesson 2 is all about Operation and Rational Algebraic Expressions. So these operations are: first, multiplying rational algebraic expression; second, dividing rational algebraic expression; third, adding and subtracting similar rational algebraic expression; and lastly, adding and subtracting dissimilar rational algebraic expression. But this time, we're going to know what are the specific things you need to master after learning this module. So you are expected to describe and illustrate rational algebraic expressions, differentiate rational algebraic expression from a non-rational algebraic expression. Third, simplify rational algebraic expression. Find the product of rational algebraic expression. Fifth, find the quotient of rational algebraic expression. Find the sum and difference of similar rational algebraic expression and the sum and difference of dissimilar rational algebraic expression, and also solve problems involving rational algebraic expression. So if you have time, you can download the module na akong gi-upload sa ato ang Google Classroom. So this time we will learn the topic Lesson 1 about simplifying rational algebraic expression. So first, let's define what is rational. So as a human being, we tend to be rational. It means mag-reason out tayo, marami tayong mga rason. But in mathematics, the word rational derives its meaning from the word ratio. As you know, a ratio can be expressed in fraction form. So a very simple way of expressing a rational expression in mathematics is to think of it as a fraction whose numerator and denominator are polynomials. So again, when we talk about rational algebraic expression, it is a fraction, meaning na ay numerator and denominator, and its numerator and denominator is expressed through polynomials. So again, polynomials is an algebraic expression having many terms, or polynomials can be monomial, binomial, or trinomial. Now, let's define the terms na ma-encounter natin in learning your Module 2 about rational algebraic expression. So this time, we have here rational number is a number that can be expressed as quotient or fraction, where P over Q is an integers or two integers. Since Q may be equal to 1, every integer is a rational number. So meaning a rational number is a fraction that composed of two integers. It is P or it can be Q. This P and Q is represented as two integers, where Q may be equal to 1. Now let's have this example. So these are the examples of rational number. So it is formed in fraction. We have 1/2, 5 over 7, negative 3 over 4, 11 over 21, 2, negative 3, and 10, and so on. So these examples are rational numbers. Now, we have here algebraic expressions. So we also define this during your grade 7. So let's review that algebraic expression is a variable, a constant, or a combination of both, which may be related by any of the four fundamental operations. So for example, sabi niya ang algebraic expression daw is a variable, a constant, or a combination of both. Meaning, si algebraic expression is having a numerical coefficient like this 3 and a variable, this x, or a constant like this 5. So let's take this example, 2x squared minus 3x plus 5. So this is also an example of algebraic expression because this is our first term, 2x squared, and they are connected by the four fundamental operation like subtraction. We have here 3x. This is our numerical coefficient and our variable x. And 5 is what we called our constant. So these are all the examples of algebraic expression. We have 3x, which is monomial. 2x cubed y squared is also a monomial. 4x minus 10 is an example of binomial. And 2x squared minus 3x plus 5 is an example of trinomial. Now, polynomials, like what I have said a while ago, is also an algebraic expression that consists of variables and coefficients that involves only the operation of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and non-negative integer exponent. Non-negative integer exponent. Remember, a polynomial is not in negative exponent of the variable. So, let's have example this one. X squared minus 9, x squared minus 4x plus 7, x cubed plus 2xyz squared minus yz plus 1, and so on. So as you can see, all their exponent is non-negative, meaning positive yung exponent nila. So, these are the terms na dapat natin i-remember. We have here, first, the rational number, the algebraic expression, and the polynomials. Now let's try this example. So I will present a series of examples and you will determine if it is an example of rational algebraic expression. So going back to the definition of rational algebraic expression, it is in the form of fraction where our numerator and denominator is in the form of polynomial. So again, rational algebraic expression is in the form of fraction where our numerator and denominator is polynomial. So number 1, we have here 3x over 2x cubed y. This is an example of rational algebraic expression. Yes, because our numerator and denominator is in form of polynomial, where our numerator is an example of monomial and 2x cubed y is also an example of monomial. How about number 2, b squared over b plus 2? Is this an example of rational algebraic expression? Yes, because our numerator is also in the form of polynomial and our denominator is also in the form of polynomial, which is an example of binomial because b plus 2 is composed of two terms. Now, how about 3? K over 3k to the power of negative 2 minus 2k. Is this an example of algebraic or rational algebraic expression? No. Why? Because our denominator is having negative exponent, which is not an example of polynomial. How about, so always remember that if a given, always remember if a given is having negative exponent, that is not an example of a rational algebraic expression. Okay? How about number 4? Square root of y plus 2 over y minus 2. Is this an example of rational algebraic expression? No, this is not also an example of rational algebraic expression. So 4 is not a rational algebraic expression because it's what we have said in our terms earlier that a rational algebraic expression is also a rational number which is positive integer, negative integer, having no square root on its numerator or denominator. But in this example, as you can see, the numerator is having square root of y, which is not an example of rational numbers. So remember that rational algebraic expression is a rational number in algebraic expression, and of course is composed of its numerator and denominator is composed of polynomials. Okay, now nasabtan na ba nato ang rational algebraic expression? Okay, so this time rational algebraic expression can be reduced to its lowest term. The following steps are in simplifying rational algebraic expression. So first we have to, step one, we have to factor the numerator and denominator. Second, cancel out common factors. So we already discussed common factors in the previous lessons. And three, rewrite the expression with the remaining factors. So let's have an example expression, and we already know what is rational algebraic expression, that it is a fraction having a numerator and denominator of a polynomial. So, when we talk about simplify, it means i-reduce nato siya into lowest term. Same thing about fraction, di ba? When we talk about fraction, pwede nato siya ma-lowest term. So, same thing in rational algebraic expression. It can also be reduced or simplified. So, we have here our step 1, factor the numerator and denominator. So our numerator is 4x and our denominator is 16x squared. So if going to factor this one, 4x is equal to 4x, right? 4 times x is the same by 4x. And the factor of 16x squared is we have here 4 times 4 times x times x. So if we will multiply this one, the result is 16x squared. Now, our step 2 is cancel out the common factors of 4x and 16x squared. Meaning, atong tanggalon ang mga kapareha nga factors ni 4x and 16x squared. So, unsa man ang ilahang same na factors? So, we have here 4 and 4 and also x and x. Okay, so our step 2, we have to cancel out the common factors of 4x and 16x squared. Now, step 3, i-rewrite natin yung expression by the remaining factors. So, since we already canceled out the common factors, so what we need to do is i-rewrite natin yung mga naiwan na factors. So, sa ating numerator, may naiwan bang factor? Wala. So, meaning, ang ilalagay natin dyan is 1. That's why we have here 1 and 1. So, because kahit hindi natin isulat dito, may 1 yan. So, we don't need to put 1. That's why yung naiwan is 1 na lang sa numerator. So, always remember na kapag natanggal tanan ang factor, meaning may 1 yan na naiwan. How about in our denominator? So, we already canceled out 4 and x. So, the remaining factors are 4 and x. So, meaning 1 din yung naiwan, 1 dito. So, we have here 4x. Our step 4, so sorry with our dog, sobrang maingay. So, in our step 4, or step 3 rather, we write the expression with the remaining factors. So we have here 1 times 1, yung naiwan natin na factor sa ating numerator. And our denominator is 1 times 4 times 1 times x. So if going to multiply our numerator and our denominator, so the remaining factors can be rewrite as 1 over 4x because 1 times 1 is equal to 1. 1 times 4 is equal to 4. 4 times 1 is equal to 4. Now, 4 times x is equal to 4x. So, 1 times 4 times 1 times x is equivalent to or is equal to 4x. Now, 1 over 4x is our final answer. So, this is the lowest term of our 4x over 16x squared. Therefore, the simplified form of 4x over 16x squared is 1 over 4x. So we have here another example. So simplify 4x to the power of 5 over 16x squared minus 12xy. So step 1, factor the numerator and denominator. So the factor of our 4x to the power of 5 is here, 4 times 5 ka x. And our denominator, the factor of 16x squared minus 12xy is here, 4x multiplied by 4x minus 3y. Bakit? Because we use the greatest common factor. So our 16x squared minus 12xy, we use greatest common factor in order to find the factors of our denominator. So you can still remember, in finding the greatest common factor, we need to find, or the greatest common monomial factor, we use the prime factor. So 16, the numerical coefficient, and 12, the other numerical coefficient. So the prime factorization is of 16 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, apat na 2. And for the 12, we have 2 times 2 times 3. So it results 12. 12. So now, what is their greatest common factors? We have the same 2 and 2. So if we multiply 2 times 2 is equal to 4. Right? So their greatest common factor for the numerical coefficient is 4. Now, their literal coefficient, the factor of x squared is x times x. The factor of xy is x times y. Therefore, their common, or the greatest common factor of a literal coefficient is x. So the greatest common factor is 4 and x. That's why we place it here. Now, dito sa parenthesis, bakit 4x, ma'am? Bakit 3y, ma'am? Kasi ang naiwan dito is 4. Yung naiwan na factor is 4. And naiwan dito na factor is x. That's why 4 times x is 4x. And dito naman, 3 times y in e1. Therefore, we have 3y. And we use the subtraction as operation given na subtraction yung operation dito. Now, after that, after factoring the numerator and denominator, we need to cancel out the common factors of 4x to the power of 5 and 16x squared minus 12xy. Therefore, cancel. We have to cancel 4x, 4 and x, because 4 times x is also equivalent to 4x. Now, after step 3, rewrite the expression with the remaining factor. So after canceling the common factor, we have to rewrite. So since we cancel this out, so na remain yung 1 and the 4x. That's why x to the power of 4, and we already cancel this one, so ang naiwan 4x minus 3y. So after that, we have to rewrite the expression. So kagaya kanina, so we have here 1 times x4 and 4x minus 3y. So in simplifying, ito na ba yung final? Hindi pa. So we have 1 times x to the power of 4 over 4x minus 3y. So we have here x to the power of 4 over 4x minus 3y. Therefore, the result is this one. X to the power of 4 over 4x minus 3y. So that's it. Yung ana siya pagkuha sa or pag-simplify sa rational algebraic expression. First, we have to factor the numerator and denominator. Second, we have to cancel the common factor. Third, we write the expression by the remaining factors. So I hope you learned something from this video. Thank you for listening. Bye.